The silver ship hovered silently above the mountain, clearing its lights, casting an ethereal glow over the trees. Samantha stood beside Kayla, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and fear. She never imagined being the first human to officially meet an alien delegation, but here she was about to make history. The ship was larger than Samantha expected, smooth and oval-shaped with no visible windows or doors, until suddenly, a seam appeared in its side, expanding into an entrance. A ramp extended, downward touching the ground with a soft hiss. 3 figures emerged, tall and slender like Kayla, with the same azure skin that seemed to shimmer under the moonlight. Their eyes were large and expressive, blinking slowly as they surveyed the scene. Their clothing appeared to be made of a flowing material that changed colors subtly as they moved. Kayla stepped forward, speaking in a musical language that Samantha could not understand. The aliens responded, their voices overlapping in a harmonious way that reminded Samantha of wind chimes. Then the tallest alien turned toward Samantha and spoke in perfect English. "We are the Luminary Council representatives. Kayla has told us much about you. Samantha Brown. You have shown great courage and compassion." Samantha swallowed her nervousness and replied, "My name is Samantha Brown. I helped Kayla because it was the right thing to do, not because I expected anything in return." The alien nodded, a very human gesture that surprised Samantha. "I am Neris, leader of this expedition. These are my colleagues, Tavi and Lauren. We have come not only to retrieve Kayla, but to evaluate Earth for potential first contact." Samantha felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. She was representing all of humanity in this moment. "What happened to Kayla should never have happened," she said firmly. "But not all humans are like those scientists. Many would welcome peaceful contact with your people." Neris tilted her head, studying Samantha. "We understand that all species have those who fear the unknown. We have monitored your broadcasts for decades. We know humanity is capable of great kindness and terrible cruelty. Which path will dominate your future is yet to be determined." Kayla stepped closer to Samantha, placing a 6-fingered hand on her shoulder. "I have shared my memories with the Council. They know what I experienced, both the cruelty of capture and the kindness of rescue. They wish to understand more." Tavi, the smallest of the aliens, stepped forward. "Would you be willing to come with us, Samantha Brown? Not to our homeworld, but to our ship. We wish to learn more about humans from one who has proven her goodness." Samantha hesitated, looking at Kayla, who nodded encouragingly. "You will be safe, my friend," Kayla assured her. "They only wish to talk," after a moment of consideration. Samantha nodded. "I will come. But I need to let someone know where I'm going, so they don't worry." Lauren, the 3rd alien, spoke for the first time, her voice deeper than the others. "We understand the need for security, but we must ask for discretion. Your government agencies would likely respond with fear if they knew of this meeting." Samantha pulled out her phone and sent a text to Olivia, who had helped with Kayla's rescue, meeting Kay's family. "Going for a visit, we'll explain later." "Don't worry." With that done, Samantha took a deep breath and followed the aliens up the ramp into their ship. The interior was surprisingly warm and comfortable, with curved walls that glowed with soft light. There were no sharp angles anywhere, just flowing organic shapes that reminded Samantha of natural formations like caves or seashells. They led her to a circular room with cushioned seats that formed when they approached, as if the floor itself was responding to their presence. Samantha sat down, finding the seat molded perfectly to her body. For the next few hours, Samantha answered countless questions about Earth, human cultures, governments, religions, and social systems. The aliens were particularly interested in arts, music, and literature, which they considered windows into the soul of a species. In return, they shared information about their own civilization. The Luminary were part of a galactic alliance of 17 sentient species who had achieved interstellar travel. They governed through consensus and had strict protocols for contacting developing worlds. Earth had been classified as a protected observation planet until recently, when signals indicated humanity was approaching the technological threshold for potential contact. "We normally wait until a species has unified their planet before approaching," Neris explained. "But Kayla's experience has forced us to reconsider. Our protocols did not account for a situation like this. The warmth in Nara's voice, when she spoke about Kayla, made Samantha realize something. "You're related to Kayla, aren't you?" she asked. Naris blinked in surprise, then nodded. "She is my daughter." This mission was not originally mine, but when we learned of her capture, I insisted on coming. The council agreed given the circumstances. Samantha suddenly understood the gravity of what had happened. Earth scientists had not just captured any alien, they had experimented on the daughter of a high-ranking official. No wonder this situation had accelerated first contact protocols. "I'm so sorry about what happened to her," Samantha said. "I wish I could have prevented it." Naris reached out, touching Samantha's hand gently. "You risked everything to save my daughter. That is why we are here speaking with you instead of simply retrieving Kayla and departing. Your actions represent the best of humanity. The question now is what comes next." As dawn approached, Naris escorted Samantha back to the exit ramp. "We will remain in orbit around Earth for 7 rotations. We need to discuss matters with our council and determine the appropriate path forward. Kayla wishes to serve as our ambassador if formal contact is established." Samantha looked at Kayla with surprise. "You want to come back?" Kayla nodded. "Despite what happened, I believe in the potential of humans. I have seen their capacity for both cruelty and kindness. I choose to focus on the latter." Lauren stepped forward, holding a small device that resembled a smooth river stone. "This will allow you to contact us securely. Press and hold the center and think of Kayla. The connection is telepathic, so no one can intercept it." Samantha accepted the device, feeling its slight warmth against her palm. "What should I do now?" she asked. "Return to your life," Naris said, "but be prepared. You may be called upon to help bridge our worlds as..." Samantha descended the ramp back onto Earth soil. She turned for one last look. Kayla stood in the doorway, her large eyes shining in the pre-dawn light. They shared a moment of silent communication, a friendship that transcended species. The ship departed silently, rising into the sky until it was just another star among many. Samantha returned to her apartment in Portland, feeling as though she had awakened from a dream. But the warm stone in her pocket confirmed it had all been real. She was now the unofficial ambassador to an advanced alien civilization. Over the next few days, Samantha went through the motions of normal life. She returned to her job at the forestry, filed reports, attended meetings, but her mind was constantly drawn to the stone and what it represented. On the 5th day, while hiking alone in the forest, checking trail conditions, she felt the stone grow warm in her pocket. She found a secluded clearing, sat on a fallen log, and held the stone in her palm. Kayla. She thought, focusing on her friend. Immediately, a sensation like a gentle breeze filled her mind, and she could sense Kayla's presence. "Samantha, we need to speak urgently. The council has made their decision, but complications have arisen. Your government agencies have detected our presence. We intercepted communications indicating they are mobilizing resources to investigate." Samantha's heart sank. "How did they know?" "We believe the energy signature from our communications may have been detected," Kayla explained. "We underestimated your planet's surveillance capabilities." The council is divided on how to proceed. Some wish to withdraw entirely. Others believe this is an opportunity for official contact. "What can I do?" Samantha asked. "We need a neutral meeting ground, somewhere away from major population centers but accessible. Somewhere we can meet with open-minded representatives from your world without military interference." Samantha thought quickly. "I might know someone who can help. My former professor from university, Dr. Allison Reeves. She works with SETI and has connections in the scientific community. She always believed first contact should be scientific, not military. Can you trust her with this information?" Kayla asked. "If anyone on Earth would approach this peacefully, it's her," Samantha replied. "Very well," Kayla responded. "The council has authorized me to meet with a small delegation of humans. We have 2 days before we must make our final decision. Contact your Dr. Reeves and establish a meeting. If this fails, we will depart your solar system, and Earth will be classified as not yet ready for contact." The connection faded. leaving Samantha with a monumental task. She pulled out her phone and dialed a number she hadn't called in years. "Dr. Reeves," Samantha said when the call connected. "It's Samantha Brown. I need to meet with you immediately. It's about first contact. And I mean that literally." There was a long pause on the other end of the line. "Samantha, if this is a joke, it's not. I promise this is real and it's happening now. I need your help to make sure it goes peacefully." Another pause, then a sigh. "My office. Tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. Come alone." Samantha closed her eyes, feeling the weight of two worlds on her shoulders. Tomorrow would determine the future of human-alien relations, and she was somehow at the center of it all. The university campus was quiet in the early morning hours as Samantha made her way to the science building. Her footsteps echoed in the empty corridors as she found her way to the familiar office door. The nameplate read, "Dr. Allison Reeves, Department of Astronomy and Xenobiology." Samantha took a deep breath and knocked. Enter came the response. Dr. Reeves looked exactly as Samantha remembered her, tall, with silver-streaked dark hair pulled back in a practical bun. Her office walls were covered with star charts, telescope images, and framed academic papers. Her desk was organized chaos, stacks of research materials and 3 computer monitors displaying different data streams. "Samantha," she said, rising from her chair. "It's been, 3 years now?" Samantha nodded, closing the door behind her. "Thank you for seeing me." Dr. Reeves gestured to a chair. "Your call was intriguing, to say the least. First contact is a serious claim." Samantha sat down, clutching her backpack, which contained the communication stone. "It's real, Dr. Reeves. I have proof." She hesitated, then pulled out the stone, placing it on the desk. "I made contact with an alien species called the Luminary." Dr. Reeves looked at the stone with scientific curiosity but made no move to touch it. "Tell me everything, from the beginning." For the next hour, Samantha explained how she'd found Kayla, her capture by government scientists, the rescue, and finally the meeting with the Luminary Council. She explained about the ship's current orbit and the limited time frame. They had to establish peaceful contact. When she finished, Dr. Reeves was silent for a long moment, staring at the stone. "This is either the most elaborate hoax I've ever encountered or the most significant moment in human history," she finally said. Samantha leaned forward. "I can prove it. The stone is a communication device. I can contact Kayla right now." Dr. Reeves nodded. "Do it." Samantha picked up the stone, feeling its familiar warmth. She closed her eyes and focused on Kayla. The connection formed more quickly. This time, Kayla M. with Dr. Allison Reeves. "She wants proof." Samantha felt Kayla's acknowledgement. Then something unexpected happened. The stone began to glow with a soft blue light. It rose from Samantha's palm, hovering in the air between them. A holographic image formed, showing Kayla aboard the ship. Dr. Reeves gasped, her professional composure momentarily broken. "Greetings, Dr. Allison Reeves." Kayla said, her voice emanating from the stone. "I am Kayla, Ambassador Designate of the Luminary Council. Samantha has spoken highly of your scientific approach and open-mindedness." Dr. Reeves stared at the hologram, her hands trembling slightly. "This is extraordinary," she whispered, then straightened in her chair, regaining her composure. "I'm honored to speak with you." Kayla nodded. "Time is short. Your planetary defense systems have detected our ship. We estimate less than 48 hours before your military attempts to establish contact in their way. We seek a peaceful scientific first contact," Samantha suggested. "You might help facilitate this." Dr. Reeves was already typing on one of her computers. "I have connections at NASA and with several international space agencies," she said, "but this will require delicate handling. The wrong person finding out could lead to exactly the military response we're trying to avoid." Kayla seemed to confer with someone off screen, then turned back to them. "We can provide evidence of our peaceful intentions. Would a small demonstration help convince your scientific colleagues, Dr.?" Reeves considered this. Yes, but nothing that could be interpreted as a show of force or technological superiority. Something subtle but undeniable. Kayla nodded. "Tonight, at exactly 2100 hours. Your time, have your astronomical colleagues observe the star you call Betelgeuse." We will briefly alter its apparent magnitude in a pattern that cannot be natural. This will be visible only through telescopes and will cause no harm. Dr. Reeves' eyes widened. You're capable of affecting a star at that distance. Keela made a gesture that might have been the equivalent of a smile. We are not affecting the star itself, merely the way light from it reaches your planet temporarily. A simple manipulation of space-time. It will serve as proof without causing alarm, Doctor. Reeves was already making notes. He'll arrange a video conference with key colleagues from around the world. Astronomers, I trust, who won't immediately report to military or intelligence agencies. At least not before hearing me out. Kella nodded. We will. Await your signal after the demonstration. Samantha knows how to contact us. The hologram flickered and disappeared. The stone gently floated back down to Samantha's palm. Dr. Reeves sat back in her chair, her eyes fixed on the now dormant stone. Do you understand the magnitude of what's happening? She asked softly. Everything changes after this. Everything. Samantha nodded. That's why I came to you. I knew you'd see the bigger picture beyond fear or political advantage. Dr. Reeves began making calls, sending encrypted messages to colleagues and setting up secure communication channels. By evening, she had arranged for 12 trusted astronomers from 8 countries to observe Betelgeuse at the appointed time. She had told them only that she had reason to believe an anomalous event would occur, one that might change our understanding of stellar physics. Samantha and Dr. Reeves waited in her office watching the time. As 9 p.m. approached, Dr. Reeves established a video conference with her colleagues. Around the world, telescopes were trained on Betelgeuse at exactly 9 p.m. It happened. The star flickered, then dimmed, then brightened in a perfect sequence of prime numbers. There was no natural explanation for such a pattern. The astronomers on the video conference erupted in excited chatter. This is impossible. One astronomer from Japan exclaimed, the light transit time alone. What are we seeing? Dr. Reeves asked. Feigning ignorance. The star is communicating, said a Chilean astronomer. Those are prime numbers. This is intentional. Dr. Reeves waited until the initial excitement settled, then took a deep breath. Colleagues, I have something to tell you. Something that will sound incredible, but which I can now prove. Over the next hour, she explained everything, showing them the stone and eventually allowing Kayla to address them directly. There was skepticism, disbelief, amazement, and finally acceptance. The evidence was undeniable. By midnight, they had formed what they called the First Contact Consortium, a group dedicated to establishing peaceful scientific contact with the Luminari. They agreed on a remote observatory in Chile, as the meeting site far from major population centers with natural barriers that would make military intervention difficult. The location was quickly communicated to Kayla, who confirmed the Luminary Council had approved. The next 24 hours were a blur of activity. Samantha barely slept as she helped coordinate the logistics Dr. Reeves used her connections to arrange. Transportation for the consortium members to Chile. A cover story about an urgent astronomical discovery provided explanation for their sudden travel. The stone remained warm in Samantha's pocket, a constant reminder of what was at stake as they boarded. A private jet chartered by one of the consortium members, Samantha finally had a moment alone with Dr. Reeves. Do you think this will work? She asked her former professor. Dr. Reeves looked out the window at the night sky. In all my years of searching, the stars I never truly believed I'd see this day, she admitted. The question isn't whether first contact will happen, it's whether humanity is ready for it. Samantha thought about Kayla, about the cruelty she had endured and the kindness she still believed. And I think some of us are ready, she said. And maybe that's enough for now. The observatory was perched high in the Atacama Desert, one of the driest places on Earth with the clearest skies for astronomical observation. The consortium members arrived. Throughout the day, taking their positions and preparing equipment, they had agreed to document everything, knowing they were making history. As night fell, Samantha stood on the observatory's roof platform, gazing up at the stars somewhere up there. Kella and the Luminary ship waited. She held the stone in her palm, were ready, she thought to Kayla. Everything is in place. The response came immediately. We have detected multiple high-altitude aircraft approaching your location. Military designation. Is this part of your arrangement? Samantha's heart sank. She rushed back inside, finding Dr. Reeves. We have a problem. She said the military has found us. Dr. Reeves' face grew grave. How they shouldn't have known. She pulled up radar data on her tablet. You're right. F-35s from the Chilean Air Force and what looks like U.S. aircraft as well. Someone talked. The consortium members looked at each other with suspicion and fear. What do we do now? Asked the Japanese astronomer. Samantha clutched the stone. I need to warn them. Before she could focus on Kayla, a blinding light filled the observatory dome. Samantha shielded her eyes, feeling a strange tingling sensation throughout her body. When she opened them again, she was no longer in the observatory. She stood. In the now familiar circular room of the luminary ship, Kayla stood before her along with Neris and several other luminaries she hadn't met before. We had to extract you, Kayla explained. Our sensors detected weapons being armed on the approaching aircraft. Samantha looked around in panic. What about Dr. Reeves and the others? They are safe, Neris assured her. We brought them aboard as well. They are in another chamber being tended to. The transport was disorienting for them. Samantha felt relief wash over her then, new concern. What happens now? Neris gestured to a viewing screen showing Earth below them. Now we must decide. Your world stands at a precipice, Samantha Brown. Your military forces are scrambling, their communications reveal. They believe we are hostile. Despite our peaceful approach, they prepare for conflict. Samantha felt a weight settle on her shoulders. Give me a chance to speak with them. To explain. Neris considered this. 2 years passed since the night at the Chilean observatory. 2 years since Samantha had last seen Kayla. The world continued turning, unaware of how close it had come to official first contact. The scientists who had been aboard the luminary ship returned with incredible knowledge about atmospheric carbon capture, renewable energy, and medical advances that were already beginning to change human society. But they were sworn to secrecy about the source. Their breakthroughs were attributed to collaborative research and sudden inspiration. Samantha had returned to her life as a forest ranger. But she was different now, changed by her experiences. She kept the communication stone with her always, but it had remained dormant since that night. Sometimes she wondered if it still worked, if the luminary were still watching, or if they had given up on humanity. She stood on the observation platform of her ranger station, gazing up at the night sky. The mountain forest stretched out below, her dark and peaceful. She came here often on clear nights to look at the stars and remember. Something caught her attention. A flicker of movement too fast and too high to be an aircraft. A shooting star, perhaps. She watched as the light moved in, a distinctly non-random pattern circling back and making a wide arc across the sky. No natural phenomenon moved like that. Her heart raced as she pulled the stone from her pocket. It felt warm against her palm. Warmer than it had in 2 years. Kayla, she thought, focusing her mind on her friend. Is that you? There was no response, but the stone grew warmer. The light in the sky changed direction, heading straight toward her observation platform. She should have been frightened, but instead felt a surge of excitement. The light slowed as it approached, revealing not the large luminary ship she remembered, but a smaller vessel, sleek and silver, barely larger than a car. It hovered silently above the platform, then gently touched down. A seam appeared. In its side, expanding into a doorway, Kayla stepped out, her azure skin shimmering in the moonlight. She looked exactly as Samantha remembered, except for new markings on her face that resembled delicate silver tattoos. Samantha ran forward, embracing. Her friend Kayla returned the embrace, her 6-fingered hands gentle on Samantha's back. I knew you'd come back, Samantha whispered, tears in her eyes. Kayla stepped back, looking at Samantha with her large, expressive eyes. I have missed you, my friend. But I come with urgent news. The situation has changed. They sat together on the platform bench. Kayla explained that in the 2 years since their departure, the Luminary Council had continued monitoring Earth. They observed the scientific advancements, spurred by the knowledge they'd shared. They watched as nations slowly began collaborating more on global issues, but they also detected something concerning. A signal has been detected coming from your solar system, Keela explained. Not from Earth, but from the outer reaches beyond your planet Neptune. Something ancient, something that has been dormant for millennia, has awakened. Samantha frowned. What kind of signal? Keela looked troubled. It is a beacon, a calling signal from a species known as the Vrexil. They were once part of our Galactic Alliance but broke away 5,000 years ago. Their philosophy centers on identifying developing worlds and guiding their evolution. Through conquest, a chill ran down Samantha's spine. And they found us. Keela nodded. The beacon appears to be from an automated outpost established long ago. When your planet began broadcasting radio signals, it eventually triggered the beacon. Now the Vrexil will come. They see developing worlds as resources to be harvested. Their form of contact is very different from ours. Samantha stood pacing the platform. We need to warn people. Prepare defenses. Keela shook her head. Your defenses would be meaningless against their technology, and public warnings would cause panic. The council is divided on how to proceed. Some believe we should not interfere, allowing natural selection to take its course. Others, including my mother, believe we have a responsibility to protect developing worlds, especially those showing promise. Samantha stopped pacing. So, why are you here? Alone in a small ship, Keela made a gesture that Samantha had learned was the equivalent of a smile. I am no longer just an ambassador. I have become what my people call a pathfinder, one who forges new connections. The council may be divided, but I am not. I came to warn you and to offer help. Hope flickered in Samantha's chest. What kind of help? Keela gestured to her ship. This vessel contains technology that can mask Earth's electromagnetic signature from the Vrexil sensors. It cannot hide you completely, but it can buy time, months, perhaps a year, and it carries information, weapons designs, shield technology, things the Council officially forbids sharing with developing worlds. Samantha understood the implication. You're breaking your people's laws. Keela looked up at the stars. Some laws must be broken when the alternative is allowing destruction. The Council debates while the Vrexil approach. I choose action. Inside the ship, Keela showed Samantha holographic displays of the technology she had brought. Designs for defensive systems that could be built with Earth's current manufacturing capabilities, energy shields that could protect key installations, weapons that used Earth's natural magnetic field as a power source. This is incredible, Samantha said, but how do we implement it? We can't exactly take this to the Pentagon. Keela activated another display showing the faces of the scientists from the First Contact Consortium. You already have a network. The scientists who were with us that night. They have influence resources. They have kept our secret while advancing your world. I have already sent them encrypted messages. They are waiting for you. Samantha shook her head. That's only 12 people against an alien invasion. Keela touched a control revealing a map of Earth with hundreds of points of light. The scientists have built their own networks in the past 2 years. Individuals they trust who have contributed to the advancements without knowing their true source. Together, they form what your people might call a resistance, a defense network waiting to be activated. For the next several hours, they planned. Samantha would coordinate with the scientists organizing the secret development of the defensive technologies. Keela would remain on Earth hidden, adjusting the cloaking technology and monitoring for Vrexil approaches. As dawn approached, Samantha looked at her friend with concern. If your council discovers what you're doing. Keela nodded solemnly. We'll be exiled, stripped of my status. Perhaps worse, but I have made my choice. Samantha squeezed Keela's hand. Then we better make it count. Over the following months, Samantha traveled the world meeting with the scientists and their trusted associates. They worked in secret developing the technologies Keela had brought. Public cover stories explained the new research initiatives as environmental protection or telecommunications advancements. Dr. Reeves coordinated from her university, creating a secure communication network they called the Starshield Protocol. In isolated facilities around the world, prototype shields and weapons took shape. Keela remained in hiding, moving her ship frequently to avoid detection. She continued enhancing the planetary cloaking field, buying precious time for the preparations she and Samantha met when possible, often in remote natural locations. During one such meeting 6 months after Kellis' return, they stood in a forest clearing under a full moon. How much time do we have? Samantha asked. Kayla looked troubled. Less than I hoped. The cloaking field is degrading faster than expected. I estimate 3 months before it fails completely. The Vrexel scout ships will arrive soon after. Samantha sighed. We're not ready. The shield generators are only at 60% capacity. The weapon systems are still in testing. Keela placed a comforting hand on Samantha's shoulder. You have accomplished more in 6 months than most species do in decades. Your adaptability is remarkable. Their moment of connection was interrupted by a high-pitched tone from Kellis' communication device. She checked it, her expression growing alarmed. Luminary ship has entered your solar system, she said. It appears to be a council enforcement vessel. They must have discovered my actions. Samantha's heart sank. What do we do? Kayla straightened her posture resolute. I will meet them. Try to explain. Perhaps they have come to help, not to punish. But the tone changed, becoming more urgent. Kayla checked the device again, her large eyes widening. It is not just a council ship. Multiple vessels are approaching at high speed, she said. They bear Vrexil signatures. They have found us, despite the cloaking field. Samantha felt cold dread spreading through her. How many? Keela manipulated the device, showing a holographic display of the solar system. Multiple red points of light were moving toward Earth 5 scout ships, heavily armed. They will arrive within days. But how? Samantha asked. The cloaking field. Keela looked grim. They must have detected my ship's energy signature when I arrived. The council was right. I have made things worse by coming here. Samantha shook her head firmly. No, you gave us a chance. Without you would have no warning, no defenses. Kayla looked at the approaching signatures, then made a decision. I must contact the Luminary ship, warn them of the Vrexil presence, even if it means my punishment. She adjusted her device, sending a tightly focused transmission. The response was almost immediate. A holographic image appeared showing a stern-looking Luminary officer. Pathfinder Kayla, you have violated council directives, interfered with a developing world. And the voice began. Commander Talis. Kayla interrupted. There are Vrexil scout ships approaching. Earth 5 of them, heavily armed. They will arrive in days. The commander looked surprised, then concerned. Our sensors detect nothing. The next 72 hours were a blur of frantic activity. The Starshield protocol activated, bringing together scientists, engineers, and select military personnel from around the world. Most had no idea of the true threat. They had been told, only, that a critical satellite defense system needed immediate deployment. Dr. Reeves coordinated from a hastily established command center beneath her university. The shield generators, which had been developed in secret facilities around the globe, were brought online. Massive amounts of power were diverted from national grids, causing brownouts in major cities. Governments explained these as technical difficulties, while privately scrambling to understand what was happening. Samantha worked alongside Dr. Reeves, managing communications between the various teams. Her forest ranger skills seemed useless in this high-tech crisis, but her connection to Kayla made her indispensable. She alone could communicate directly with both. The Luminary Kayla remained in her ship, now hidden in an abandoned mine shaft. She worked tirelessly, enhancing her vessel's combat capabilities, while maintaining contact with the Luminary observer ship. The commander Talis had maintained his position of non-interference, but continued providing updates on the approaching Vrexil vessels. As the deadline approached, Samantha found a quiet moment to contact Kayla through the communication stone. How are we looking? She asked. Kayla's response came immediately, tinged with both pride and concern. The planetary shield is at 87% capacity. It will not stop the Vrexil entirely, but it will prevent orbital bombardment, forcing them to attempt ground landings. The weapon systems are operational at key points across your planet, though untested against Vrexil technology. Samantha sighed. And your ship? A pause. I have modified it beyond recognition. It is now more weapon than transport. The Luminary would not approve, but it will give us one more defensive option. Samantha clutched the stone tightly. Will it be enough? Another pause longer this time. I do not know, my friend. The Vrexel are formidable, but Earth has something they do not expect: unity and preparation. They believe they are approaching an unsuspecting primitive world. They will find something very different. The final hours ticked away. Dr. Reeves gathered the core team in the command center. Multiple screens showed the shield generators worldwide, the weapons placements, and a live feed from space telescopes, repurposed to track the approaching threat. 20 minutes to projected arrival, Dr. Reeves announced, her voice steady despite the tension. We are as ready as we can be. Samantha nodded, then addressed the room. Many of you still don't know the full truth about what we're facing or how we obtained this technology. She took a deep breath. It's time you did. She explained everything from finding Keela to the Luminary Council to the Vrexel threat. She watched as expressions changed from disbelief to shock to understanding. So you're telling us we're about to face an alien invasion, said General Morris, one of the few military leaders brought into the Starshield Protocol. And our only allies are a single rogue alien and an observer ship that won't help. Samantha nodded. That about sums it up, General. The general shook his head. In 30 years of military service, I never imagined I'd face something like this. But he straightened his posture. It's our planet. We'll defend it with everything we've got. Alarms blared. Throughout the command center, a technician called out multiple objects entering Earth's upper atmosphere. Trajectories indicate controlled descent, not natural. Dr. Reeves moved to the main console. Activate the shield. Now. Around the world. The shield generators powered up, drawing massive energy from the planetary grid. Cities went dark as power was redirected. In the command center, the main screen showed a translucent blue field forming in the upper atmosphere, just as 5 sleek, angular vessels appeared. Burning through the sky, the vessels hit the shield, creating ripples of energy across its surface. They slowed but continued their descent, shield holding at 76% capacity, the technician reported. 68. They're pushing through. General, Morris watched grimly. They're stronger than we anticipated. Where are they heading? The technician analyzed the trajectory, multiple targets. 2 heading for North America, 1 for Europe, 1 for Asia, 1 for the Southern Hemisphere. Samantha turned to Dr. Reeves. We need to activate the defense systems. As the Vrexel ships penetrated the shield, the ground-based weapons came online. Advanced energy weapons developed from Kellis designs fired from hidden installations. The sky lit up with streaks of blue light as the weapons tracked the descending ships. One of the Vrexel vessels was hit directly. Its engines flared, then died, sending it tumbling toward the Pacific Ocean. A cheer went up in the command center. We got one, called a technician. Celebration was short-lived as the remaining 4 ships released smaller craft, dozens of them. They scattered, avoiding the energy weapons, moving too quickly to track. They're deploying ground forces. General Morris said, invasion tactics. Samantha clutched the communication stone. Keela. We need you. Within moments, the command center received a new signal. Keela's voice came through the speakers. I am engaging the smaller craft. My sensors indicate they contain between 5 and 10 Vrexel warriors, each heavily armed. On the screens, they watched as a new ship appeared, smaller than the Vrexel vessels, but moving with incredible speed. Kalis modified ship-fired weapons unlike anything Earth had developed. The smaller Vrexel craft began exploding in midair, but there were too many reports started coming in from around the world. Vrexel landing sites were confirmed. Military forces mobilized to engage, but were meeting heavy resistance. The aliens stood over 7 feet tall with armored exoskeletons and weapons that cut through conventional defenses with ease. In Moscow, St. Petersburg, and across northern Russia, the Vrexel established a beachhead. Military responses were met with overwhelming force. Thousands of casualties were reported within the first hour. Similar reports came from Brazil, Argentina, Australia, and across the United States. Cities were under attack. Power grids failed, communications went dark. In the command center, Samantha watched in horror as the situation deteriorated. We're losing, she whispered. Dr. Reeves placed a hand on her shoulder. Not yet. The secondary defense systems are still coming online. We have options. General Morris was coordinating with military commands worldwide. We've confirmed a weakness. Their armor is vulnerable. At the joints, conventional weapons can penetrate if precisely targeted. We're adapting tactics. Suddenly, the main screen flickered, showing Commander Talus from the Luminary observer ship. His expression was grave. The Vrexil invasion force is larger than initially detected, he said. 3 more capital ships have been detected approaching Earth orbit. They will arrive within hours. Samantha's heart sank. Can you help us now? Will your council intervene? The commander looked conflicted. I have sent multiple urgent messages to the council, but communication takes time. Even at our fastest speeds, reinforcements would not arrive for days. Samantha fought back tears of frustration. Then what do we do? Kayla broke into the communication, her image appearing alongside. The commanders, I have an idea, she said. But it will require disabling my ship's safety protocols. It may destroy my vessel and possibly me with it. Samantha shook her head. I won't let you sacrifice yourself. Keela made that gesture that resembled a smile. The choice is not yours, my friend, it is mine. Commander Talus, I need your help. My ship cannot generate enough power alone. But if you redirect your ship's energy reserves to mine, I can create a pulse that will disable Vrexil technology. Their neural links to their weapons and armor will fail. Temporarily, Commander Talus looked alarmed. What you suggest violates at least 7 council directives. The pulse could also damage human technology. Dr. Reeves stepped forward. We can protect our essential systems. We have emergency protocols, General Morris nodded, and we'll take our chances with conventional warfare against the Vrexil, if their advanced tech is disabled. The commander hesitated, then nodded. Very well, I will assist, but I cannot guarantee your survival. Kayla nodded. I understand, Commander Samantha. I need you to get to the highest point near your facility. The pulse will emanate outward from my position. I need you to place amplifiers at strategic locations. This will extend the range. Samantha nodded, though her heart was breaking at the thought of losing her friend. I'll do it. Tell me what you need. The next hour was a race against time. Samantha and a small team took the amplifiers devices quickly modified from Kayla's specifications. To the surrounding mountains, the Vrexil were advancing on all fronts around the world. Conventional military forces were taking heavy casualties. The shields were failing under continued assault from the Vrexil ships. As Samantha placed the final amplifier on a mountain ridge overlooking the command center, she contacted Kayla through the stone we're ready. She could feel Kayla's determination through their connection. The commander is transferring power now. The pulse will activate in 3 minutes. Return to safety, my friend. Samantha hesitated, tears in her eyes. Kayla, please. There must be another way. A wave of affection flowed through the connection. Some journeys require sacrifice. We knew this from the beginning. You showed me the best of humanity. Now I show you the best of the Luminary. The connection began to fade. Samantha rushed back toward the command bunker but stopped halfway, looking up at the night sky. Soon it would all be over one way or another. In the distance she could see flashes of light as military forces engaged Vrexil warriors. The world she knew was changing forever regardless of the outcome. 1 year after the Vrexil invasion, Earth was a changed planet. The truth could no longer be hidden. Humanity had faced an alien threat and survived, but at great cost. Major cities around the world still showed scars of the conflict. Millions had died in the initial attacks before Kayla's sacrifice turned the tide. The existence of extraterrestrial life was now common knowledge. Governments that had once denied such possibilities now worked together in unprecedented cooperation. The Star Shield protocol had evolved into the Earth Defense Alliance, a global organization tasked with protecting the planet from future threats. Samantha stood at the center of a newly constructed memorial, a circular plaza built on the mountain where Kayla had crashed. At its center stood a statue, not of Kayla herself, as Luminary cultural beliefs prohibited such representations, but of 2 hands intertwined. 1 human with 5 fingers, 1 Luminary with 6. The plaque read simply, 2 worlds, 1 connection, in memory of those who gave everything so others might live. Dr. Reeves, now director of the Earth's first Xenological Research Institute, joined Samantha at the memorial. They stood in silence for a moment. "It's been a year," she finally said. Samantha nodded, running her hand over the stone, remembering Keela's touch. "Sometimes it feels like yesterday. Sometimes it feels like another lifetime." Dr. Reeves looked up at the statue. "The Luminary Council has finally responded to our messages." Samantha turned sharply. "What did they say?" Dr. Reeves smiled slightly. "They're sending an official delegation, first contact properly this time. No more hiding. They were impressed by how we handled the Vrexil. They believe Earth has proven itself ready." Hope flickered in Samantha's chest. "When in 3 days. The UN has prepared a reception. New York has been chosen as the meeting point." Samantha looked back at the statue. Keela would have loved to see this proper first contact. Not in fear or secrecy, but in the open. Dr. Reeves placed a hand on Samantha's shoulder. "She made it possible, and you did too." The communication stone, which Samantha still carried, always had remained silent since Kella's death. She had tried many times to reach out but received no response. She understood why. The Luminary had likely deactivated it from their end after Kellis' unauthorized mission. As they walked back to the research facility built near the crash site, Samantha felt the stone grow warm in her pocket. She stopped abruptly, pulling it out. It was glowing faintly, something it hadn't done in a year. "What's happening?" Dr. Reeves asked. Samantha shook her head. "I don't know." She held the stone in her palm, focusing her thoughts as Kayla had taught her. The glow intensified, and suddenly, a holographic image appeared. Not Kayla, but Commander Tallis from the observer ship Samantha Brown. The commander said formally, "I bring a message from the Luminary Council. Your world has been officially classified as ready for contact. The delegation approaches. You are requested to join the reception committee." Samantha was surprised. "Me? Why, I don't hold any official position." The commander's expression softened slightly. "You held the most important position. Friend Tequila, daughter of High Counselor Naris. The council wishes to honor that connection." Samantha felt tears forming. "Thank you, Commander, I will be there." The commander hesitated, then added, "There is one more thing. The council asked me to inform you personally. The energy matrix from Kellis' ship. The pulse that defeated the Vrexil. It had unexpected properties." Samantha frowned. "What kind of properties?" Instead of responding verbally, the commander adjusted something off-screen. The holographic image shifted, revealing another figure. Samantha gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. Kayla stood there, her azure skin glowing healthily, the silver markings on her face more pronounced than before. She wore formal attire, marking her as someone of high status. "Hello," my friend Kayla said, her voice exactly as Samantha remembered. How Samantha whispered, "How is this possible?" "I held you as you died." Kayla made that familiar gesture that resembled a smile. "The Luminary understand energy in ways humans do not yet comprehend. When my physical form failed, the pulse carried my consciousness energy. My essence, you might say." The commander recognized the pattern and captured it. His ship had technology to provide me with a new form. Samantha could barely speak through her tears. "You're alive," Keela nodded in a manner of speaking. "My memories. My consciousness continue. I am different yet the same. The council considers me reborn. They have made me official ambassador to Earth, the first in what they hope will be a lasting relationship between our peoples." Samantha laughed through her tears. "So you'll be part of the delegation?" Kayla nodded. "I will lead it, and I requested specifically that you be there to receive us. Our story began with fear and secrecy. It will continue with openness and hope." The commander returned. To the hologram, the delegation will arrive at the coordinates provided in exactly 72 hours. We look forward to beginning this new chapter between our peoples. The hologram faded, leaving Samantha staring at the stone. Dr. Reeves stood beside her, shocked. "Did that just happen?" she asked. Samantha nodded, clutching the stone tightly. "She's alive, and she's coming back." The news spread quickly. Samantha was immediately flown to New York to join the diplomatic preparations. The United Nations General Assembly had been transformed into a reception area for the Luminary delegation. Heads of state from around the world, gathered representatives from every nation on Earth would witness the historic moment. General Morris, now the military liaison to the Earth Defense Alliance, met Samantha at the UN building. "Never thought I'd see the day," he said, shaking her hand. "When they told me you'd be joining the reception, I pulled every string to be here too. Never got to thank your friend properly for saving our planet." Samantha smiled. "You'll get your chance soon." General, the next 3 days were a whirlwind of preparations, briefings, and security measures. The whole world waited. The luminary arrival was scheduled to be broadcast globally, an event that would unite humanity in a way nothing ever had before. On the appointed day, Samantha stood with the reception committee on the UN Plaza. A special landing pad had been constructed following specifications provided by the luminary. The world's media had gathered cameras trained on the sky. At exactly noon, a light appeared above the city, growing larger as a ship descended. It was unlike Kayla's small vessel or the Vrexel ships. This was elegant, beautiful, a silver oval that seemed to shimmer with colors as it moved. It was massive, yet made almost no sound as it settled onto the landing pad. A hush fell over the crowd. The ship sat motionless for a moment. Then a seam appeared in its side, expanding into a doorway. A ramp extended, touching. The ground first came. Luminary guards, their attire formal but clearly designed to appear non-threatening. Next came several council members distinguished by their elaborate markings and flowing attire. Then Kayla appeared at the top of the ramp. She looked regal in formal ambassador robes, her silver facial markings gleaming in the sunlight. She paused, surveying the crowd. Then her gaze found Samantha, and that familiar gesture like a smile crossed her face. She descended the ramp, approaching the human delegation. The Secretary General stepped forward to deliver the official welcome, but Kayla moved past him directly to Samantha. "Protocol can wait a moment," she said softly. For friends, Samantha could not maintain formality. She stepped forward, embracing Kayla tightly. The luminary returned the embrace. 6-fingered hands gentle on Samantha's back, just as she remembered. The crowd watched in amazement as human and alien embraced, not as diplomatic counterparts but as friends. The cameras captured the moment, broadcasting it to billions around the world. A simple gesture that spoke volumes about the relationship that would follow. When they separated, Kayla turned to address the assembled dignitaries, and through them the watching world people. "Of Earth I come, representing the Luminary Council and the Galactic Alliance of Peaceful Species. Our journey together begins today, but the foundation was laid long ago. Through friendship, through sacrifice, through the recognition that despite our differences we share common hopes and dreams." She gestured to Samantha. "This human showed me the best of your species. Her kindness, her courage, her willingness to reach across the stars to help a stranger. These are the qualities that have earned Earth its place among the stars." Kayla raised her hands, addressing the world. "We come not to rule or to impose, but to share. To learn from you as you learn from us. The path ahead will not always be easy. There will be challenges, misunderstandings perhaps, even conflicts, but we face them together as equals, as friends." She looked directly at Samantha. "Two worlds, one connection. This is our beginning." The formal proceedings continued with speeches, signed agreements, and diplomatic exchanges. But for Samantha, the important moment had already happened. Kayla was back. The impossible journey they had begun together would continue. That evening, after the formal receptions had ended, Samantha and Kayla stood on the balcony of the UN building, looking out over the city lights. "So what happens now?" Samantha asked. Kayla looked up at the stars visible despite the city lights. "Now everything changes. Technology, medical advancements, scientific knowledge, art, culture. Your world will never be the same. And neither will mine. The Council has already begun preparations to establish an embassy here. The first steps toward Earth, eventually joining the Alliance." Samantha leaned on the railing. "Will you stay as ambassador?" Kayla nodded. "For as long as needed. My second. Life has a purpose, I believe." And she turned to Samantha. "I have unfinished business with this planet, with its people, with one person in particular." Samantha smiled.